Victor Wembanyama has done it again. And what I mean by it is he is becoming a dominant force that's redefining the NBA. For real. We're talking about the NBA's latest phenom, Victor Wembanyama, who has taken the basketball world by storm, leaving fans, analysts, and even opponents scratching their heads and saying, "Did that 7'4" alien just do that?" The 21-year-old superstar is a highlight factory, a statistical anomaly, and the ultimate nightmare for anyone trying to guard him. He's not just dominating, he's obliterating expectations. In the past 5 games alone, Wembanyama has led the league in blocks, three-point makes, and points, cementing his place among the NBA's top 10 players at an age when most of us were just figuring out how to parallel park. So let's break down how this basketball unicorn has the entire league in a chokehold, one jaw-dropping performance at a time. It was Christmas Day at Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks were hoping to unwrap a gift in the form of a win. Instead, they got a towering opponent named Victor Wembanyama. The 7'4" prodigy put on a performance so outrageous it had even Santa clutching his head in disbelief. Wembanyama torched the Knicks with 42 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks, delivering one of the most dominant Christmas Day performances in NBA history. It wasn't just the raw numbers, it was how he got them. He buried pull-up threes like a 6'3" sharpshooter, swatted shots into the third row like an overzealous volleyball player, and made New York's defense look like a group of lost tourists in Times Square. Oh, and this wasn't some one-off. This came on the heels of 2 games where Wembanyama racked up 18 blocks combined. Yes, you read that right, 18 blocks in 2 games. Somewhere, Hakeem Olajuwon and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are watching from their thrones of defensive greatness and nodding in approval. Victor has also redefined the 7-footer archetype. Wembanyama isn't just blocking shots and dunking over helpless defenders. He's revolutionizing what it means to be a 7-footer in today's NBA. With over 200 three-pointers already under his belt, Wembanyama reached this milestone faster than legends like Steph Curry, James Harden, and Reggie Miller. Let that sink in for a moment. A player who stands 7'4" is breaking records set by the greatest shooters in history. But it's not just the volume, it's the variety. Wemby can hit pull-up threes off the dribble, relocate off the ball for catch-and-shoot opportunities, and even nail step-backs with a smoothness that makes you forget he's taller than a giraffe on tiptoes. No one has ever seen a player this size who can shoot with this level of confidence and versatility. Now, if we talk about his offensive versatility, then we call Victor a basketball chameleon. Offensively, Wembanyama is like a Swiss Army knife. He does it all. As a cutter, he glides through the lane for lob finishes that resemble a Kevin Durant highlight reel. As a shooter, he spaces the floor like Lauri Markkanen, draining threes with a flick of his wrist. And as a lob threat, forget about it. Just throw the ball somewhere in the vicinity of the basket, and Wemby will find it like a heat-seeking missile. Honestly, it's annoying as hell from an opponent's perspective. The comparisons to Durant and Markkanen are apt, but Wemby's 7'4" frame adds a level of uniqueness that's unprecedented. He can dominate inside and out, making him virtually unguardable. If you put a big man on him, he'll torch them with his shooting. If you put a smaller defender on him, he'll simply turn, laugh, and dunk the ball with one hand. While Wembanyama's offensive skills often steal the spotlight, his defense is just as mind-boggling. He's a one-man fortress, consistently disrupting multiple plays on the same possession with his elite instincts and agility. There are just many instances where Wembanyama showed what he's made of. Like when Wemby blocked 3 shots in a single sequence, swatting away a layup, a putback attempt, and another shot before securing the rebound himself against the Pelicans in the 2023-24 season, then again in the 2024-25 season. He's shown the ability to guard perimeter players, sliding his feet like a guard while using his wingspan to contest jump shots. In transition defense, he's a menace, often chasing down opponents for emphatic blocks that ignite fast breaks. Who's forgetting his performance against the Grizzlies? Or the time when he pissed off Ja Morant so much so that when Zach Edey dunked over Victor, it gave Ja a huge joy. Victor's defensive numbers are already rivaling those of all-time greats like Hakeem and Jabbar. Through just half a season, he's averaging over 4 blocks per game while anchoring one of the league's top defenses. If you think Wembanyama is just a scorer and shot blocker, think again. The 21-year-old phenom has displayed remarkable improvement in his decision-making and playmaking, showing a level of composure that belies his age. In pick-and-roll situations, he's a maestro, disguising passes midair and threading needles to open teammates. One highlight against the Mavericks saw Wemby drive into the lane, attract 3 defenders, and then sling a no-look pass to the corner for a wide-open 3. It's this kind of playmaking that makes him more than just a scorer. He's a complete offensive engine. When it comes to elite free throw shooting, Victor's a big man anomaly. What I mean is that big men and free throws traditionally go together like oil and water. But Wembanyama is breaking that stereotype, shooting nearly 88% from the line this season, including 47.9% from the field. This elite free throw shooting not only makes him a reliable scorer late in games, but also signals his potential to dominate even more as he develops his physicality. As he continues to draw more fouls, he could easily average 30 points per game while maintaining jaw-dropping efficiency. Let's be clear, Victor Wembanyama isn't just a great player. He's a once-in-a-generation talent. His combination of scoring, shooting, defense, and playmaking is something the league has never seen before. Sure, there have been dominant big men, and there have been sharpshooters, but never has one player combined all these skills in a 7'4" frame. I know I mentioned it already a few times, but to truly appreciate Wembanyama's impact, we gotta compare him to some of the greats, like Hakeem Olajuwon, who was a defensive savant, but he didn't have Wemby's shooting range. Or Kevin Durant, who is an offensive juggernaut, but he doesn't offer the same level of rim protection. Dirk Nowitzki revolutionized the stretch big role, but he wasn't the all-around force that Wembanyama is becoming. Victor is carving out a lane all his own, blending the best traits of multiple Hall of Famers into one unstoppable package. If there are any key takeaways from Wemby's overall career, the list is pretty broad. Wembanyama's 7'4" frame combined with his guard-like skills makes him one of the most unique players in NBA history. At just 20 years old, Wemby is already a top 10 player, and his ceiling is so high it might not exist. His combination of scoring, shooting, defense, and playmaking is unparalleled, and he's redefining what it means to be a big man in the modern NBA. Victor Wembanyama isn't just dominating the NBA, he's transforming it. Whether it's raining threes, swatting shots, or dishing dimes, Wemby is doing it all. If you're not locked in, then you're just missing out on history being unfolded. What are your thoughts on Wembanyama? Let us know in the comments below. In other news, many basketball fans, analysts, and casual observers are demanding some rules to be changed in the game because guess what? They think basketball is getting boring nowadays. Click on this video to find out what they're talking about.